All right. Monday motivation, inspiration given by me, Hope. This is Hope is speaking. That is my name. My name is Hope. And I'm somewhat of a physical manifestation of hope. And what I love to do is to speak. And what I do is I just go about my day and I allow the interactions I have during the day to weave a story. What's up, Mag? What's up, I am Frey? And I come back and I see you rushed in here, Mag. I'm proud of you, as did I am Frey. Because I am Frey, I got the messages, I got your comments under my posts. What's up, Smooth J? And I was like, this is great. This is great. Yeah, the sun does look great on me, Carl. It sure does. That's why I said, let me come out here in the sun. I love the sun. So thank you, I am Freibi, and I'm sharing this to share. Again, this is the dream horse. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. So this is the dream, and because the dream is completely what I am doing, which is speaking, and to see someone value what I do and show that it adds to them and show that they're excited. I love that. And thank you, I am Frey, because we're all just trying to show up. And furthermore, thank you for the roses, Carl Timmons. We're doing the best we can. And I share this with my nieces because I say, y'all mamas lied to you because I know your mamas. Your mamas are my sisters. Sometimes they don't tell you, but I was there. I know what these whippersnappers were doing. You make it work in your own way. And sometimes that's the beauty of growing up. Now, I've always shared that I knew I could just make things work. So if someone said, this is what you have to do to live life successfully, that wasn't going to work for me because it looked boring. It didn't look fun. It didn't look engaging. And I was not going to go to a job under fluorescent lights and look ridiculous and eat fast food and hope to one day travel. No, I'm going to make it work. I don't care about money because the imagination is all the cash you need. When I set out to travel the world, because I had traveled with my family, but I wanted to take it a step further and I wanted to live abroad, I started looking for places to work that would allow me to travel. I looked at cruise lines and what is Club Med? I applied to Club Med and got to like the second or third. Thank you for the heart, me. I am Frey. Got to the second or third interview. And then my French wasn't as extensive as it is now. Thank you for the likes, already up to 1,000. And thank you for sharing the live, Mag. And the point was to travel and to live abroad and expand me through expanding my view of the world. Thank you, I am Frey. I love that gift. I love that gift. I had already had a friend of mine who had lived, she was now living in Italy, and I said, I want to go and see her. Can I get a job there? So it was never, man, I need to make the money. It was, what do I need to do that will get me to where I need to be? I didn't know it was going to be a flight attendant. That just came, but I was stuck on that. I was stuck on the traveling bit. I was stuck on seeing the world. I was stuck on truly using my entire life as the example. I never said I'll work here and then when I retire, I'll travel. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm going to take the chance because of the belief in myself. Thank you for sharing the live, I am Frey, to make this what I want. And this message comes from so many that just say they can't make it what they want. And I understand that. Even in being a flight attendant, I loved it until I didn't. And I easily will leave. Mag, who's one of my moderators, and always, life don't work like that for you, poet. Often when people give these feedbacks, that's how they see their life. So, poet, in the chat, just repeat, life don't work like that for me, meaning you, because for me it does. Now, if that's not how it is for you, I understand that. This is my experience in life. So you telling me what doesn't work for you doesn't work for me. You see how quickly that works? I will. It's that easy for me. For me, as soon as I say I can do something, the belief of me doing it is already there. So it's just the works. I don't want to. Poet, you're not astute, meaning I believe I can do all of those things, which means I can for me. And that's just what it is. Thank you, I am Frey, because that is the resistance that happens in life. And most of the time, it's not from an outside source. That is you. So when those voices or that resistance of you can't do that, you will never be able to do that. You don't have what it is to do that. That's sometimes what's within you. Thank you for liking the live. And listen, let me just say to anyone who joins my live, the hopefuls, and I am free, feel free to block anyone on the first violation. They'll take care of you. It doesn't really matter to me. I've been ran over by a motorcycle. A comment on a phone through social media really doesn't take anything away from me. Thank you for the follow, Derartu Olinatu. And that's a part of it. Get used to the resistance. Get used to the resistance. And that's it for me. If I believe I can do it, then I can do it. When I made the decision to start talking, I actually thought, okay, do I want to be a pop star? Like, I allow myself to dream in life because all it takes is the belief that I can and then just acting as if. Just acting as if and taking every step. So when I did my TEDx talk, tomorrow it'll be a month ago, I was already walking like I would be a TEDx speaker. And anyone who hasn't watched it, thank you for the live star, I am Frey. It is in my link in bio. It'll take you directly to the YouTube page with my TEDx talk. Even that, I just did it my way. It's not in the normal format of even a speech. It is just a directed word that I feel needed to be heard. And I went on stage without shoes, gave the message, and then said, okay, checked off the list. Now, what, now what? I've done it. Now what? Once you start seeing that these things, thank you, I am Frey. Thank you. It made me think too. There is a moment where I took a longer pause because, as you know, I know what the message is, and I know a few key points, but I don't memorize the speech. Thank you. And there was a moment where I stepped out of just speak, Hope, and I was saying, which way do I want to go? Should I? And the pause was a little bit longer. However, I already knew in my mind, there's no way I can mess this up. Even if I got feedback of that was the worst TED Talk I've ever heard, okay, sure. There's the space for that too. However, I did it. And that is how I walk through life. And this morning on my sexy walk, because you know I take my sexy walks, I'm here with Peso, Alma, and Roja. And as I was walking, I see, what's up, positive energy? Hey, I just called in some positive energy. And I love that name. I saw a woman And I saw this man on this orange bike, and you know I love a bike, okay? My butt will always be on a bike. And it was this orange bike, but it was almost like a tricycle. So it had a basket in the back of the bike. What's up, Doobie? Between the two wheels, a big basket. And the gentleman said, hey, you could put your dogs in here and ride with the dogs. I said, you got some, you know what? You ain't said nothing but a word. That is the truth. I could do that. And I like that bike. Really snazzy bike. So as he rode by, his caretaker walked past and she said, you wouldn't believe how old he is. And jokingly, he's elderly, but I said, he has to be 28. She said, he's 92. I said, 92. Whoa. She said, yeah, every morning he rides that bike, and by the time I get to the corner, he's already done a U, and he's about to loop me. I said, because you just got to keep moving. And that's what inspired this message. That's why I entitled it, Keep Moving Motivation. Because that's it. Even within our bodies, the point is just to keep moving. The moment you stop moving, what happens? We become stagnant. Thank you for the follow, Gudas. Our body may not be in the healthiest condition. And also movement helps clear the mind. It helps with the blood flow. It helps oxygenate the blood. It helps everything. So what happens when you stop moving? And let's take this out of the context of movement of the body. What happens when you stop moving towards anything? When you say, I just can't do it, I'm just going to stop here. That's right. You become stagnant and stiff. And as I was speaking to this young woman, she said, I need to be like him because I got so much here. And I said, ma'am, you are moving right now. You're walking now. She said, you got that right, but I need to walk more because I need to lose weight. And this positivity just comes out of me. And in a moment, I said, Hope, just listen. Because oftentimes people are telling you how they feel about themselves. You're walking already, but you're telling me you need to walk more. And you're telling me you need to lose weight. And you're telling me all these things that I wouldn't have known if you didn't say it. But you've said it. And now your body, your brain, every part of you is hearing this. Thank you for the follow, Maria Ma. And I said, you're already moving. Just keep moving and be grateful. Because we have those moments when we're sick or unwell. We may have the flu. We may have to go in and get something done to our body. And you're in the bed thinking about, man, I wish I could just move. And you're able to move now, but you're telling me why you need to move more. You're telling me why you need to have your body in a better condition. Ma'am, your body is here with you right now. Be grateful for it right now and just keep moving. And of course, she saw me because I'm always moving. She said, I bet you walk every day. I said, I sure do. I got to keep moving. It makes me feel good. It's the first thing I do when I wake up. If I'm not moving, I'm riding a bike or I'm rollerblading or I like to move. I have a lot of energy. I already know that. I got to move. You don't need to tell me. I'm going to move. If I don't, I'm going to get myself in trouble. So as she was explaining to me, I said, listen, just be grateful in this day. You're already moving. She said, you're right. You're right. I said, and I'll see you tomorrow. She said, I don't normally see you here. I said, I normally don't walk the dogs into this cul-de-sac, but I like to take different routes every few days. Change my brain pattern around. Instead of taking the same route, I'm going to take a different route. And maybe that's why I took this route to come and speak to you. And that belief of seeing a 92-year-old man hop on that bike and he was just riding just with a smile, the way I smile when I'm riding a bike. But how often do we see someone of that age moving? Because once you stop moving, it's so easy to get comfortable. Once you stop moving towards what you want or what you believe is for you, it's so easy to say, that's not for me. Thank you, Sharon Ellis 322. Once you stop moving, and there's a beauty in movement and just that gratitude of, I'm grateful in this moment. I had made a post, that funny stitch of the young man, thank you, Erica Mom Simpson, for the follow, that said, so you just fine and single, and you home every day? Yeah. Here's the thing. I've always said it's timing for me. On your way where? Where? It's timing. And I don't really touch on relationships or dating, but it's all timing for me. And also, I have seen, to the best of my knowledge, a great example of a relationship with my parents. I know what it takes. Yeah. But what other way? I don't see anything negative with singledom. I enjoy being with myself. I don't say by myself. And I enjoy myself in concert with someone else. It's not either or. I do not think, because I'm not in partnership with someone, I don't enjoy life. I enjoy life regardless. That's the problem. Some of y'all, why does someone want to pair up with you when you don't even like your life? So you want to pair up with somebody to bring them down? No. Have fun within yourself in your life, and people will see that. As I said, I've never had a problem with that. I've never had a problem attracting people because I really just enjoy this thing called life. There's always something new. Yeah, and it's not even, I'm just with hope. I'm in the best place for me. I'm with me. I don't know if you can come along. It may take some time for me to see if you're even able to stand by me. Anytime partnership comes up, I never rush into that decision. It's going to take some time. Not only because of the workings that I've done on myself, but what I'm building for myself. And often my confidence is attractive because it may be something that someone else doesn't actually have. And if they don't have it, it's attractive just to be next to it. But if you're around it too long, it may bring out the lessons that you just don't want to start studying for yourself. Being in partnership with someone is a fragile state, meaning whoever you choose to be your partner does make or break the rest of your life. And when I say partner, I mean a long-term partner, whether that's marriage or you're just with someone for the rest of your life. I don't even know which one's for me yet. Just because I knew my mother was always a stay-at-home mom, and she was fantastic. She would cook every day. This is why you always see me cooking, and teach me about my body and my hair and how to present myself and fold clothes and do all these things that I saw that it will take a bit more of me to be that. I won't be able just to fly around the world and do all these things. Now, through the course of my life, I believe that can be, but I also had to frame what that would be for me. Meaning, I don't just say, I just want to be married. Well, what does that look like for you? When I speak of being able to do anything in life, I have to know what that looks like for me. I never saw my mom check in on my dad, like, where you at? When you coming home? I didn't see any of that. So if I'm in partnership with someone, it's trusting. I allow you to be yourself, and you will definitely allow me to be me. There is none of that. In fact, there was a partner that I was with that I had to see in me, like, Hope, you got to check that. Because he would call and say, hey, where are you? And I would say, why do you ask me that? What do you want? Why do I need to tell you where I'm at now? And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Why is that my response? And when I asked myself, it was because my dad, well, where are you at? Where are you at? What? Okay, well, this isn't my father. I can separate the two, Hope. You see where it comes from. You can separate the two, learn from it, grow from it, and go on. But if I didn't sit and say, where is that coming from? It would have just built. It would have kept building upon itself. And also in any partnership, I've never had anyone, outwardly say they don't trust me, because I've always been traveling. So there was no such thing as me not traveling. Thank you for the follow, Kay. I am always going to continue to be Hope. I was you before I came, and I'll be me. I was you. I was me before you came around, and I'll be me after. Meaning there's a certain area of independence. Friends, being the flight attendant, me and my flight attendant friends would travel. That's not going to stop if I'm in partnership with someone. And I discuss this with people, and I'm explaining this because often I just hear, especially on this app, well, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Well, how would a person know if you haven't had the conversation? How would a person, that means you're holding someone to expectations that, number one, they're unaware of. And now that you're holding them to these invisible expectations that not only do they not know, you are keeping a scoreboard. That's already not going to pan out well. And when I speak of being a speaker and having great communication, this is what it's about. Even within relationship with people. Because I had a friend come visit me in Maui, and on her way to the airport going back, I think she was flying to Southeast Asia, she had washed her clothes and some socks that she was going to wear on the flight. And something happened with my washer machine where it kept doing a rinse and spin cycle. So every time she went out to see if the clothes were done to put them in the dryer, the washer machine was stuck on a rinse and spin cycle. So the socks were still wet. Now, in my mind, I did not know that what she wanted were these socks. What she told to me was, Hope, it keeps going on to the rinse and spin cycle, and I don't know why. I never said that anyone, Rachel, let me call you in. It doesn't mean tolerance of anything. And I'm not going to add that part. What I said was having a clear thought with another person. So tolerance, to tolerate something isn't even a thing that I want to include in a relationship. Because to tolerate for me means, I guess I could let this slide. No, we have communication, and I accept that. And I accept that. But a relationship is always changing. So when your response is doesn't mean you should tolerate someone that doesn't meet your expectations, I'm not going to be in the relationship if my expectations aren't met. Jumping to what I tolerate baby girl, you are 4 miles off from where we're at. I won't be in concert with a person where I don't feel like we're aligned. Does that make sense? So, no, we're not agreeing. What I'm saying is, it's never about tolerance for me, because tolerance and acceptance are two completely different things. To tolerate someone's behavior and to accept someone's behavior are two different things. And I just don't have to be in a relationship with that person, because if I can't accept it and I have to tolerate it, for me, that's not going to make a great relationship, just because of the difference of the words. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this isn't in any sort of negative way. It's just that for myself, the time that it would take for the last two relationships, it took almost a year and a half to be in a relationship. There is no such thing as we're together. No. I'm me. First of all, I'm Hope. Okay? Not only are my suitors spectacular, but it comes back to me. Sure. Absolutely. So it's right. And still in response to that, where someone's at, I meet someone where they're at. And if it's not something that I choose to have in my life, it just wouldn't reach that. So I can see it and I can love it and I can respect it and say, yeah, that's not for me. Again, a lot of this just comes from observing myself in relationship and observing my parents, 46 years in relationship. And understanding that so much is misconstrued. And just having these conversations of, tell me about your parents' relationship. Tell me about your household. Tell me how arguments were discussed. Were they discussed? Did people just go upside their head with a frying pan? I don't know about that firmament. I don't know. I don't know if any day that it's better or worse, because I wasn't living in a different time period. But for me, everything's easy. It's that easy. I see what's for me, and if it's not for me, I don't try to make it for me. And when I started this off, since we're talking about relationships with timing, oftentimes it's timing. For anyone to say, I need to be in a relationship, that's a terrible space to be. You don't need to be anywhere. And really to be in relationship with yourself will create the door for a better relationship. I can sit down and have a conversation. I can sit down and say, when that was said, I feel hurt. Instead of, when you do this, you shouldn't do this. Those are two different conversations. I don't feel supported when I hear you use the words, that's stupid for you to do. That's different from, if you say that to me one more time, I'm going to leave. That's even a different temperament. I don't know about that. Maybe, and that's from our point of view, but I'll always add this, because I travel the world and I've lived abroad. Depending on where you live, social media could be less so. And I just got on social media. Here's the other thing. What's up, Divine Tarot? I did not have social media since 2010. And social media has always been a thing. It could have been writing letters when I was in middle school, but I know what's real for me. I can discuss what's real for me. I know how I value myself and others. So what someone does on social media is just that. It's not real. It's not real. And furthermore, thank you for the follow, Janice and JR. Furthermore, my honesty within myself is the real social media for me. Sure. I even discuss with partners about social media. What do you feel? How do you use social media? I only use it business-wise. I'm not on here to personally put myself out. And here's why. When I first got on social media, I think in like 2009 or 2008, maybe 2007, sometime then, and that was Facebook, I saw the subtle shift. And yeah, maybe it's looking at memes. Everyone uses it differently. And I was living in London, and I saw that shift. And by 2010, when me and my friends would go to Paris or Italy or Amsterdam, I saw a shift of like posting pictures every day to Facebook. And it was such a uncomfortable thing. It was really uncomfortable for me to observe, like within a summer. And we're just free flowing. The topic is motivation. The topic is relationships. The topic is open somewhat. And so I made a point between seeing all my friends get on and post the pictures where the night before when we were in the club, we weren't posting pictures, and also feeling connected to that social media because the person I was with at that time, I think would like pictures or wouldn't like mine. And I said, whoa, no, we're not going to talk about that, Love the Most High, but thank you for the suggestion. I see how this is tugging on me. I see how I'm connecting my self-worth to a like. Why am I feeling this way? Whoa, this is really a bit too much for me. And I said, you know what? I'm getting off. And this was in 2010. I remember this because I journaled about this. I said, this is not the healthiest for me. And I'm going to step out of this space. And if and when I decide to be back on social media, it will only be for business purposes. And I wasn't on. I was the only friend that wasn't on. So when you spoke of, well, social media, that was my outlook of social media in 2010 while living in London. And seeing that real change over a summer because it was new. This was 13 years ago, and I saw it and I felt it. And I felt how it affected me and how I looked at myself and how I felt about myself and others. And that's when I decided to step off. Thank you, Zach Black. Thank you. And thank you for the gift. So for me, I'm purposeful with my social media. Yes, I come on to speak. Even my YouTube is my speeches and me speaking. It's not, it's me cooking. It's things that are business endeavors, but it's not really my life. You will never see me on here crying or talking about my personal life for validation or just as a release. I'm at a space in my life where I know how to release that. I have a journal, I have therapists, I have water, I can walk, I could talk it out. I have all these ways, and I'm a bit older. So social media, especially within the dating space, and here's the other thing, a lot of, thank you. Yeah, I love walking the 3 dogs. I feel really like a mother because I got a compliment this morning that said, you really manage those 3 dogs well. And I was like, I'm on my way to motherhood. So some of the gentlemen that I've had in my past have been notable in whatever fields they were. I wouldn't ever post them. And especially if they were known or people took pictures of them, it wasn't in me to jump in a picture unless I had to be. So there's also that. I'm somewhat seen. So if it's a picture, I understand what a picture is for. But again, I know these things beforehand. And knowing oneself and constantly comparing myself against my other versions. And I had jokingly said to a sister, you develop into the person that people want to be with. And that does not mean make yourself attractive to others. I mean, make yourself attractive for yourself, because that will immediately attract others. I know how to speak out my discomfort within my body or for a person instead of just throwing a fit. Thank you, Janice, for sharing the live. That's not healthy. I'm compassionate. I have a lot of patience. That took time. That took time from other relationships. And when I've been out of relationships, thank you for the lightning, Zach Black. I purposely take at least a year off. My last relationship was 5 years. I said, yeah, I'm going to take as long as it takes, because now I want to analyze myself. Now I need to see, what did I pick up? What patterns did I repeat? What do I not want to repeat? How was I seeking validation? What did I accept? Why was I accepting it? Ask yourself that instead of saying, this person shouldn't have done this to me. What's up, Blessed Tone? People just show up. But you actually have the agency to be your change agent. It's less of, well, if they're 50-50. Listen, that conversation, I've never even had it. I've never had that conversation. And how I carry myself, I've never had a man request something for a dinner, because we got other things to talk about. And it's possibly how I just present myself. I don't know. That's not even something that would come up in conversation, because that's not something I saw demonstrated within my parents' relationship. Exactly. There is no failed relationship, only a valuable lesson. When people say, oh, my failed marriage, well, it worked until it just didn't. But it did work. There's things that came out of every relationship, even if it was just the partnership with the person. Because partnership is difficult. And partnership just doesn't mean we snuggle up and watch a movie and you buy me this. Nah, partnership is, do you got me? Meaning, I'm going after this dream. Things are falling apart. And my partner is saying, I believe in you, keep going. Partnership is, yeah, I did step out, and we need to talk about this, because I was feeling, okay, let's talk about it. This is what adults do. I'm not for, first of all, there is no foul language. And I remember discussing this with a gentleman, and I said, let's talk about this. There is no foul language, ever. I wasn't raised around that. I don't use foul language. If you're upset, if you need to step away for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, get yourself together, sure. Because that isn't healthy for me, and I will not tolerate it. I won't tolerate any foul language, and the same will go for me. There is never a time where you made me so mad I'm going to cuss at you and hit you with a baseball bat. If that is the case, you probably shouldn't be in a relationship, because there's something that needs to be addressed. And that's for me. Everyone has their own way of looking at it. But if I love and respect a person, I'm never going to call you out of your name. And we aren't doing any fisticuffs. Ever. 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 That's within friendships. That's even with the dogs. I won't even hit the dog. I don't believe in, for me, violence never brings anything productive. Thank you for the heart, me, Enrique G. That's for me. And I know these things about me so I can vocalize it to someone. I don't even check in on people, especially traveling all the time. I don't have time to check in with someone. Not check in on someone, but where you at? When you coming back? No, you're an adult. You were your own person before me. Exactly. There is no coincidence. And my father would say that. And my father would also say, forever is a long time. People say, oh, I want to be with you forever. Forever is you can't even think about how long forever is. So take your time to find your forever. Take your time. And I share this especially with my younger nieces. Listen, when I said the post about don't be ride or die. If you're 22, I got to fight for this love. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're 22 years old. Go out and find your life. We're just made for each other. You're not. You're just bonded and you just don't really know. But you will find out once you separate. You grow in partnership and you grow when you're away from people. The things I've learned from breakups, my ability to allow myself to go through that process of mourning the loss and being in that space and saying, you know what, that's okay. Give yourself as much time as it needs. I'm not going straight out to meet someone. Do you know I know how unique I am. It is not an easy feat for me to align with someone initially. So the thought of, let me just go out and find someone, nah, I'm okay with me. I'm okay with me. And taking that time and actually saying, you know, I really have grown, or I really did change, or I really wasn't allowing myself to speak up, or learning from everything that happens within your life. And I remember speaking to my mom, and she had said she had FaceTimed me, and I was in partnership with someone, and she said, Hope, I said, look at my baby. She is just so unhappy. And I was. And I remember looking back at a journal through that time where I was journaling, I am not happy. This is not what's for me. This is not going to be a long-term relationship because what I want is not this. And then when I look back on the journal, I was saying, well, if I knew it and I was journaling it, maybe the lesson is actually blending those things together and saying, this just isn't for me in this regard. Yeah, everyone's brought to you. And I remember going to the person and saying, I care about you. You are like my best friend. However, it feels like a friendship. And this does not look like what a relationship is for me. And those were my exact words. Because I had to be honest. I care for the person. I respect the person. Yeah, and I had felt complete, but it was just that in partnership, it is really a partnership. It's really a partnership, not I'm going to keep silencing this part of me to allow this other person to be present. And I also, I've had a few proposals and I knew they weren't right. I knew it just wasn't going to work. So I just said no. And I'm so happy I did because I share with my niece. Thank you, Mux, Humble, BLS. I share this with my niece because a lot of my friends who got married in their 20s, they took the first offer. And I'm always saying there's a better offer than this. This isn't it. Yeah. Hi, Roha. And that is absolutely correct. It's more than love. There's so many things. But here's another thing, and this is a pretty deep statement. I don't believe there's individuals that can pinpoint what love is for them because they haven't seen it. The belief of love is we go out to dinner and you get me roses and we kiss all the time and we'll always feel this way. I don't believe that's it. In fact, I think love is more of that partnership and support system and understanding and forgiving and being open to the changes of a person and a relationship. And yes, foundation of love to be true. And back to my friends who all were married in their 20s, I remember a friend saying, Hope, I just don't want to be alone. I said, well, how do you know you're going to be alone? We just turned 21. We just are able to go out and get a drink at the bar. How do you know? And several years later, that person was going through just the changes through her relationship with her husband. Because just because you got an offer doesn't mean it's for you. Meaning, that's okay. All of it's worthy. All of it's worthy. Heaven. I'm from heaven. So when I received my proposals, I was like, yeah, nah, this ain't it. And I trust myself enough to say, this isn't it. Not, okay, well, this isn't it, but I can make it work because I've done that before. This ain't it. You can't make something work if it's not going to work, but also it's a lot of work that needed to be done on me. Because we only show up in relationships as ourselves in that moment and to the best of our knowledge and healing or whatever. And I remember with one individual, I thought it was it because of I would have had that lifestyle and had homes around the world, which I've always knew I was going to have, and be in these notable spaces. And then I said, but wait, I'm already doing that. I don't have to be aligned with this person to have that. What's up, Stephanie, living life? I do not have to make the exception of I'm with this person because of that. And I really asked myself that. I asked myself that. I'm doing that for me. I'm doing this for me. There's certain things that I'm already doing for me. There's certain ways in my life, whether it's professionally, I'm already building me. So I don't need, thank you. Yeah, true. Well, tell me about that, because if that's the program with abstinence, Amp Stewart, that's a whole nother thing. However, I believe we figure it out. Even me I can tell my nieces and nephews and younger people this, but they're not going to listen. I only know this because I've gone through it. And I believe there's a beautiful space of allowing someone to learn in their way. Now, I'm still an open space where you can come and say, you know what, I hate to say you were right because this is what I learned. Sure. I'm not going to say I told you so. It happens when it happens. Some things just have to be learned through going through it. And it's different for everyone. It's different for what you see in life. It's different for what you believe your life is for, and it changes. When I was traveling as a flight attendant, that was my goal, to see the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Firmament. Come back, and thank you for the follow. I wanted to see the world. I knew I wasn't going to marry any of these boyfriends in my 20s. I knew it. I even told them that. And they said, well, no, sis, listen, guys, I've been honest with you. I've told you. That's not on the top of my list. What's on my list is building me so I know what I want. So when I do make that decision of final commitment, I'm going through it with full capacity of what I am, what I've developed myself into. Not the other way around. Marriage and just even a relationship is a huge commitment. Let me commit myself to building, learning, loving, releasing, forgiving myself so I know me. And thank you for continuing to like and share the live. And the same is said like with me speaking. There are individuals that could feel uncomfortable because I do travel and speak and people want to talk to me. If you aren't confident and understanding that that's just a part of my life, that could create a discomfort that I wouldn't even tolerate anyway. There go my favorite, all caps. Wait a minute. All caps. I just sent you an invite. So, in this, and all caps Angel just gave, this is a quick shift. He gave a 24-hour DJ set. Do you understand the commitment to that? Okay, I understand. A commitment. That's a commitment. To commit yourself to DJing on live for 24 hours. What's up, Bia? These are commitments. I don't easily give in to a commitment. Since we're talking about relationships, nice to see you. How's the moving going? Are you settled? Have you done some healing and releasing for yourself? Because moving is that. I had shared this. There was a gentleman, and I had said, listen, what is dating to you? And he said, well, you are a healer. So release that. And it's not that you're stressed, you're shifting. That's just a shift. You're releasing, you're gaining, you're moving, you're all of that. So release that. Do some sound healing for yourself and go outside, put your feet on some grass and release that, because I understand that, and speak into that, because moving can do that. And I'll talk about my last moving experience after this. The gentleman, I asked him, what is dating to you? And he said, us talking, us going out to eat, us getting to know each other. I understand. Moving is typically a precarious situation. I said, okay, cool. What dating is for me is, yes, us getting to know each other, us talking. We could even travel. But for me, that's without any intimacy, which means there is no sex while we are getting to know each other, right? I say that off the bat because I'm not going to be intimate with someone and try to figure out, do I want to be with Absolutely not. No. It clouds judgment. So for me to be honest and tell you this, then you can say, okay, cool, I'm not with this, or you know what, yeah, that's okay. And it will show pretty quickly if you actually mean what you say and still want to do this dating process, or you don't. But for me to be in relationship with someone, it's not a game, right? And prior to any of this intimacy, we will have a conversation, another conversation. And the conversation will be about us being in a monogamous relationship. This means there's complete clarity. There isn't, oh, okay, well, we've been, intimate, and he spends the night at my house, and I don't know if we're boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't do that, ever, ever, ever. I'm Hope. You think, listen, honey, I'm Hope. What's up, T? And to go through it that way makes it easy for both parties. Because I have to present myself as transparent and honest as possible. I'm a speaker by profession. I have to live what I speak. And if I'm dealing with a man, baby, I got more games than you, because as I said, I've been in these streets and in these skies for a long time, okay? I don't want to be a player no more. And in fact, I wasn't even a player when I was, because I was telling you what I was going to do, and you thought I was going to change. But I'm older now and more mature, and thank you, all caps Angel. But to have that conversation, because the beauty of, listen, it's looking real good over here. There is never any convoluted messages within me and a relationship and dating, okay? First of all, if it's me, you already know if you could stand next to me. You already know that I'm going to compliment you and you will compliment me. And to be honest, the ones that know they can't aren't going to come up to me anyway. That's how it's supposed to be done. I don't worry about these things. I like who likes me. I don't say, well, I wish this type of person liked me. I don't care if you don't like me. I like me. But I like who likes me. I'm not chasing anyone. And the moment you say, Hope, this ain't for me, cool. And I had that with a gentleman. He said, you are really cool. I do like you. There's just some things that aren't aligned. Thank you for being honest. Bye. That's all it takes. Now, the ones that don't have great communication and they would ghost you, that says something about them, but it has nothing to do with me. Thank you, Calvin Speaks, for the follow. You see? That makes it easy. And this is where I speak of being an exceptional communicator. It's not when I come on here and speak. It has to be throughout my entire life. My entire life. And my mother was speaking to me and she was saying, you should pick up a call when your sister calls. And I said, yeah, but no. I'm not going to do anything that's not genuine. Meaning, Mom, if you say pick up the phone when your sister calls because it'll make her feel good, if I genuinely don't want to speak, that's not being honest to me. And I hear you, Mom. And I respect what you're saying, and I receive it. And me as the woman, as I am, I'm going to do what I feel is genuine to me. Because in all actuality, I don't want anyone conversing with me or giving me their time and presence if they truly don't want to. Not because they're thinking, well, this will make them feel good. You don't know what the other person wants. But it's never actually about the other person. And also, if someone's not picking up your call, if you jump to the conclusion that it's you, it could be, but it could also be the person's not in a great headspace or the person is doing something. I don't know. I don't pick up my phone. If someone doesn't pick up a call for me, I don't really allow it to reflect negatively on me. Thank you for the live star, I am Frey. I don't believe this person don't like me and I don't know what they're doing, but they didn't pick up. So what? So what? And I'm sharing this because these are all the things that I've learned within myself. Even when speaking to my mother saying, I feel you, Mom, and I love you and I respect you and I receive it. And this is what's true and genuine for me. Because that took something for me to say that. to my mother instead of, okay, that's what I'll do. I have to show up in my most authentic self and be okay with it. In any relationship, whether it's romantic, whether it's with a family member, and yes, there is beautiful energy in here, I am frei. Whether it's, to be honest, the most beautiful, authentic relationship is going to be with yourself. It's going to be with yourself. And I am doing a lot of these talks because now I'm shifting my messages a little. Now that TEDx has happened and some other things are happening, I'm shifting my messages a little. But it still has to be authentic. So what can I speak about? What do I know? With the few relationships I've been through and my interactions with family members or business partners and how people see me. I don't know how people see me. Well, it may not be negative. To help overcome negative thinking within oneself, I think to sit with those thoughts. So if it's, I don't feel good about myself, why is that happening? Is it happening when you're eating? Is it happening when you're not exercising, but you know you should? Is it happening when you're around people? I think first of all is awareness. Because awareness, Michael, could be, I only feel this way when I'm around one person. If that's the case, that could be it. Deborah Prince Downer, thank you for the follow. Start to analyze when you feel these things. If it's, man, I don't feel good about myself because I wanted to work out today and I didn't go and I haven't. Okay, well, there we go. It could not be that you don't feel good about yourself. You're with pleasure, Michael. It could be, oh, I need to start working out because now I'm not even holding the promises to myself. Yeah, sometimes it's, I also say make daily promises to yourself. Start with one, and then after a month, go up to 3. Meaning today, start today with, my promise to myself is to walk 10 minutes or work out for 10 minutes and do it. And do that one thing every day for 1 month. Because after those 30 days, you'll see, whoa, I held this promise to myself, which is really being accountable. And when we're not accountable to ourselves, we feel it. And then you feel like, man, I can't tell myself to do nothing because I don't even do it. Nah, start with one thing. I'm going to go live for 10 minutes. That's what I did. I said, I'm going to start going live. Thank you, Deborah, for the roses. But instead of saying what you will do, it's just a promise to yourself. It may be a promise that I'm going to journal 4 sentences because I want to start journaling and I don't know how to journal. So my one promise today is to journal 4 sentences and have it easy. I feel great today. Today is going to be well. I'm releasing anything that doesn't serve me. I did it. Those are your 4 sentences. The way to start anything, number 1 is awareness, meaning, okay, why am I feeling this? You can even skip over that. Is this true? Is this true? I don't feel great about myself. Okay, is that true? No, it's just a thought I've been having. Oh, okay. Well, then I do feel great about myself. You can self-correct. Asking, is it true? What does it mean if it's true? I do this. I ask myself, is this true? And this is with anything. Well, you ugly. Okay, is this true? No. Is this true 100% of the time? No. Is this true for me? No. Okay, well then I cancel that. I feel great about myself. Is this true? Is this true 100% of the time in every scenario in life? Because you'll be able to find one scenario when it's not. Okay, no, it's not. Is it true for me? No, it's true for that person that said I'm ugly, but I don't think I'm ugly. Okay, well then it's not true. Then that's not me. I can release that. I am great. I do feel good about myself. And you will have to start counteracting those thoughts with the exact opposite. And it will feel weird. It will feel unnatural. It will feel like, wait a minute. Now I'm just telling myself I like myself, but I've been saying I don't like myself. Yeah. And do something to make that true. I do like myself because I had 1 glass of water today. I do like myself because I ate some carrots. I do like myself because, I painted my nails. Find something to make that statement true. And only one thing. Small promises to yourself. Thank you for liking the live. Small promises. It doesn't have to, I'm going to journal, I'm going to meditate. Okay, you got to take it in small chunks. When I say one small thing, it could just be saying, I love you. I love myself. And feel that. Feel what you feel. Feel what comes up in your body. Feel it. Okay. All right. Ooh, that was weird. And then let it go and go on. And then do it again the next day. And then do it again the next day. But it's one small thing, and you will start to become more aware. Then, within 6 months, the growth will be huge. But take it in, I like to even take it in 10-day increments. 30 day, at this point, I do 30 to 90, I do 30, 60, 90-day increments. Yes. And I didn't even know, Michael, that you had an appointment, so you're excused. However, great. Yeah. Awareness. Awareness just means checking in. What do I feel in this moment? Okay, I feel I feel tense. Doing a body scan. I'm checking in. Okay, I'll close my eyes or keep them open, and I'll just scan every part of my body from the top of my head to my neck, my shoulders. Ooh, my shoulders are tight. Okay. All right, I'll keep going down. Ooh, my stomach, I haven't eaten. Okay, keep going down. My thighs, my knees. Ooh, that knee kind of hurts. Okay. You start doing that. And I recommend just in the morning. That's when I do my first check-in. I'll do check-ins at the grocery store when I'm in line, like, oh, okay. Maybe all right, I feel good. I feel good. I got exactly what I needed. Okay. And those check-ins is being aware of how you feel around others, how others may change how you feel. And that's even more powerful to see, like, oh, it's not me. I'm maybe picking up something from this person, or maybe my body's telling me something about this person. Listen to that. If you constantly get a tightness in your stomach or your neck around somebody, I listen to that. I don't need to be around your butt at all. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I will quickly, this ain't for me. Bye. Okay? Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Quickly. I even have people in my family. Are you coming? No. Well, why not? You're a part of the family. I know. And I'll be a part of, hey, y'all stop. Hey. I am Faye. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for liking the live. Being able to do that check-in allows you to practice it, so when you are in relationship with someone, you can scan your body and say, oh, I am upset. Okay, I'm upset. Why am I upset? Because they said they were going to take the trash out and they didn't. Okay. All right. I need to express this because I keep letting this go, and I'm going to express this because I feel this tightness in my shoulders and I'm not able to sleep. And because I love this person and because they love me, this is the space where I can tell them with kindness that I love when they uphold what they say. Instead of, you never do what you say, I love when you uphold what you say. And because I love you, and because this relationship is constantly growing, I want to bring up that I feel not heard when I have been given your word that you are going to take out the trash, and it hasn't been done because I want to trust what you say. And this means something to me because I want to continue to grow. And I love that I can be honest and express this and know that it will be heard and rectified. And because of that, this is why our relationship is where it is. That sounds so much better than I'm so tired when you don't take out the trash, because that's why. Tell me why you haven't taken out the trash. You see those two differences? And my mom would say, because I never saw my parents argue. I'm sure they had disagreements, but they would go in their room. They would talk like that. And my mom would say, you don't want to win the battle. You don't want to win every battle. You want to conquer the war. So you may have to think differently. You may have to think about how you choose your words. And you may have to say, is this even worth it to address? Sometimes it is. If you're not sleeping well at night, lack of sleep is a big defining moment. You should be able to easily go to sleep. If you can't sleep and something is keeping you up, and that thing is a person or a repetitive action that you need to do, handle it, because lack of sleep is telling you something. If you aren't able to sleep, that's not normal or healthy. And I remember that. I remember being in relationship with someone and I said, I got to talk to this person about this because it means something to me. And as soon as I did, it passed and I was able to sleep. Sometimes it is that quickly. It passes that quickly. And it's up to you to understand you're worthy of expressing this. Choose your words. Choose them with kindness. Know your goal. Because if your goal is just to have an argument, well, then just go say whatever you want. But if your goal is to have the trash taken out, ensure that the trash is taken out by choosing words that will create that. Just having that goal in mind changes everything. I don't want to share in a kind and thoughtful way. And this is with anything. This is with friends, relationships. I now am in a space. Thank you, Opal, for the follow. I could just say anything. I could. I've been known to. But I never know what people are enduring. You never know what people are enduring. Sometimes people don't even know. Thank you, Marie, for the follow. That what they're doing is annoying to you. But in the same token, you're not always aware of what's going on in the background for them. And I share this because while I was a flight attendant, I remember getting on a flight to work a flight. I think we were working, I don't know, to Denver, I think, somewhere. And I had my phone in my uniform pocket, and I went in the lavatory and answered my phone, and it was my little sister telling me in a emergency-like tone that she was in the ambulance with my dad, who had just had a stroke. She said, me and Mom are in the ambulance. Dad just had a stroke. We're on our way to the hospital. You need to get home and da-da-da. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, is my father going to die? I just found out my dad had a stroke. So I was still a flight attendant at the time. And thank you for liking the live, I am Frey. And I came out of the lavatory and I was helping with boarding the plane. And the next passenger that boarded the plane said, gosh, these planes are so tiny. Do you see how low these ceilings are? They bump my head every time. Why don't you guys let them know that the ceilings are too short? They need to do something. I can never be comfortable. And I always to this day think, if he would have known that phone call that I had just hung up from seconds before, always happy to see you too, Detroit Sean, would he have still expressed that to me? Would he still express that to me? I speak about my father all the time. I'm a daddy's girl. I love my father immensely. He is an amazing man who has put me in positions of where I am today. And I love, respect, and care for him immensely. And in that moment, that's what that taught me. People don't know what you're going through. Thank you. Thank you, Detroit. But if you did, how would you speak to someone? How would you speak to someone? How kind would your words be? How much more thought would you put into every word that you say if you knew what people were going through? If you knew the abuse or the tragedy or the harm or the neglect that they just left prior to their interactions with you, what would that look like? And I remember I was frozen. I was frozen because we finished boarding. And I told the flight attendant, I got to get off the flight. Like the next flight, I got to go home. My dad's in an ambulance. He's having a stroke. He just had a stroke. I got to get back to California. I think we were in LA flying to Denver. I don't know where we were flying to, but I ended up in Denver. And they said, okay, we'll call the company. Because with most airline companies, you can get out. I mean, that's a family emergency. And my company was gracious enough where they found flights for me. They didn't find, okay, the last flight to your hometown left, we'll find you a rental car. I mean, they did everything they needed to do to ensure that I was home with my family. And it was like a blur. I think I flew into LA. I'm not from LA. I'm from a town that's about 4 hours north. And the flight to my hometown had left, so I just rented a car and drove those 4 hours and walked into the hospital, and it was another one of those life-changing events because I'd never seen my father in such a vulnerable position. I'd never seen my mother in such a vulnerable position. I had never seen the fragility of life within my parents in that way. And it was enlightening, and it was created growth within me. And it was one of those areas where I learned about myself because my father walks every day. He may have like a glass of wine for dinner, but he doesn't drink excessively. He doesn't smoke cigarettes. He eats well. He's like me, always talking positive to people. So the stroke was somewhat of a shock because he lives such a low-stress lifestyle, except reality is being whatever transpired to cause the stroke, it brought out the growth in me to understand nothing great comes from stress. And the longer that you tolerate stress, the easier it is to infiltrate your body and create harm. So there is no way that I will ever be stressed, specifically from what I learned from my father's stroke. Not me, not ever. You aren't going to stress me. A family member ain't going to stress me. A job, nothing. And I also saw within myself during his recovery process, because it was major. He had to learn how to speak, how to walk, how to hold a pencil, how to hold a pen, how to comb his hair, all of these fine motor skills. Thank you for the follow, the seventh trumpet. I saw how I managed that. And throwing myself back into work and just flying so I wouldn't think about how I was mourning the loss of what my father was prior to the stroke. And I'm already tiny. I'm small, but I became very thin, and I said, whoa, wait a minute. This ain't the way to do it, Hope. This ain't the way to do it. Sink into this. Of course you would feel sad. Of course you would feel a loss. Of course, feel all of that. Instead of running from it, feel it. Allow it to speak to you. Take time off, and I did. I always took when I flew. I would always take half of December, all of January, and all of February off. And I think I took almost up till April off. Every year. My dad would do that too. I took the last month off and the first 2 months off. And I poured into myself because I started to see that some of my management skills for situations weren't healthy. That wasn't healthy. And healthy in the sense that I wasn't allowing myself to grow and learn from the discomfort of seeing my mom cry over this man that she's built homes with and a family with and 50 years almost of life with, and seeing my father in this vulnerable position and even thinking about, okay, there will be a time where he'll leave. All of that. Go ahead and allow the thought to process and allow it to add to me. It's a beautiful space to see that. I think it brought me into a space of truly accepting what is, not what isn't. Not what isn't. Well, my dad used to, well, sure. And that time will always exist in that memory. And this is what is now. See, you can relate. I understand. And now, I think it's 7 or 8 years after the stroke, my dad is my dad, and he's hitting people with canes and not canes, but he's still my father. There may be some differences, but he will still give you a mean look and demand a cup of coffee. I mean, I quickly grew into like, oh, yeah, his things changed, but he's still my dad. He's still my dad. And in fact, my sister had shared with me, sometimes he falls, sometimes his equilibrium varies. So he'll fall, and at times he'll grab onto my mom. So he grabbed onto my mom and grabbed my dad's a big guy, and it left like a bruise on her arm. So when she went in for her checkup, they said, oh, where'd you get this bruise? She said, you know, my husband, I take care of my husband. At time he falls, and he grabbed up onto my arm, and that's what caused that. And because individuals have actually been abused, they called the police into the examination room and had the police ask her again, like, what happened? She was like, y'all, listen, this is y'all can go outside. He's out there. He falls and he caught me. Yeah, which I understand because there are people that are in positions, but that wasn't it. That was my dad. And seeing that's just a part of it. That's a part of this thing called life. I'm always grateful that I have the family that I have, even if I don't pick up the calls. And speaking of calls, I had to tell my dad, Dad, you are acting like a crazy dude. Don't call 20 times in a row. Because my father will call, and if I don't answer, he'll hang up, he'll call again. He'll hang up, he'll call again. He'll hang. And because of when he had the stroke, I think, oh, someone's going to the hospital. He'll just pick up, like, can you bring me back a hot dog? Dad, you know what? Don't do that, okay? If I don't pick up, you calling 12 times won't make me pick up faster, and don't do that. And no, I'm not bringing you back a hot dog. This is insane. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. And I can laugh about it now. And what's funny is just the changes in life, but the things that have stayed the same. And my humor comes from, no. If you call, listen, if I'm not going to pick up, I don't even pick up the phone anyway. You calling me 20 times isn't going to induce me to pick up, especially if it's my dad. Now I just know he just calls too much. Dad, you don't need to call. You just calling to ask me. I'll call you back, Dad. My mom, I had sent her my TEDx talk once it got onto YouTube. And I said, Mom, did you watch the video? She said, what video? I said, the video I sent you, the TEDx talk. She said, yeah, your red dress was beautiful. I said, you didn't even watch it because I'm wearing a blue dress. What red dress are you talking about? Thank you for the follow, Sky High. What red dress are you talking about? She's over here. Come on. Alma. Open the door for her. So, well, if something's really wrong, I'll find out. But listen, even if something is wrong, I will just find out when I find out. I don't play that. I do not do that, okay? If something is wrong, you can text me something is wrong. Calling 30 times, that is not okay. And when things have been wrong, like when my father had a stroke or when people died, I'll just share this, Mark. Mom may be on the ground, but someone is with my parents have people that help in their home. So they wouldn't be, I don't even live in the same state as my parents. So I'm about to move out of the country. So they wouldn't call me for that. Yes, I definitely count every moment as special. Life is what I make it. And my parents are humorous. Yeah, I love my dad. I do. And I also find life inspiring. That talk, my TEDx talk, came from being on a flight where the left engine went out and we had to do an emergency landing. I know how quickly life goes. When I had passengers transition on the plane, I know how life goes. Being hit by a motorcycle, I thought like, whoa, I make it through a lot. However, life is how I dream it to be. I don't say life is what it is. Life is how I dream it to be. What's up, cool Aaron? And I constantly dream. I saw thank you, Opal. That's right. I saw my father do this and my parents do this and my parents speak things into existence and speak about the house that they were going to have and the beautiful kitchen because my mom loves to cook and say, and this will be the marble and speak things into existence. This has been a course of my whole life. And I'm thankful for it. And I'm thankful for everyone who surrounds me, even if they bug me. So what? I was given these family members for a reason. And I do love and cherish them. I do. Anyone who's in my life. Now, I may not pick up your phone call, but that doesn't mean I do not love, respect, and have a true appreciation for what and who you are to me. Do not confuse the two. And in that regard, this is why I just trust things work. Things just work out. I just trust. I just got up today and said, not only do I've stopped saying I don't care, and I've started saying I care because I know it's done. I care because I know it's worked out. I care because it's for me to be surprised at how lovely it works out. I'm doing everything that I need to do. And yeah, it is. It is powerful. And really speaking that and firmly believing it. Because outside of that, I'm not really trying to... I'm constantly seeking a meaningful, purposeful existence. And in that, expanding my view of what that means. And then it does, yeah, and that's the best part, to see how it is and how it does and how it's magically unfolding. I say I'm so lucky, I'm so blessed, I'm so highly favored, and I drink my water and I know it's done. So I shared all this to say it is done. You have taken all the right steps. We can constantly grow. And we are, regardless if we notice it or not. And the beauty of it is your perspective. Apologize for what? No need to apologize. You haven't done anything wrong, Mark Smith, 5401. The fact that you're here is apology enough. You know, you could do anything else with your time, and you're choosing to spend it here with me. Hope is speaking. Yes, it is done. Desires and fulfillments are one. Thank you, Cool Aaron. I love your one-liner. So, the lesson is that lesson of faith. Not knowing it's done and believing it's done, but accepting and going forward as it is. Regardless of your outlook on religion or faith or spirituality, being in a space of just positive fulfillment, like, yeah, it's working out. And I'm going to put on my red lipstick and put on my red nail polish and just be excited for how good this is. And always drink water, as I said, hydrate yourself. So, always be the reflection of love, because we all come from an infinite source of love. Show up. I always say show up. I'm showing up. I showed up. And I look good when I show up, okay? Show up. And make it look good when you show up. And accept that there is beauty in life. There's beauty for you. You're deserving of the beauty. And there's even more beauty when you surrender to it. And have that speak to you however it does. I really appreciate my gifters, especially I am Frey. I appreciate you, Mag, for being my moderator. I appreciate Stephanie Living Life. I appreciate you, Cool Aaron, Mark Smith, everyone who regularly comes to my lives. Thank you. I'm just giving back the little wisdom that I feel, the knowledge that I feel may be helpful. You really are adding to my expansion of myself. And I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for all the feedback, whether you're a troll or it is helpful in some way, whether you gift or you don't gift. The fact that you are here and have stayed in the live and have received something is powerful for me. And I will continue on every live to share that, because it's really a true testament and blessing for me to see that the words the route that I'm going down is fulfilling and helpful to those who find some sort of beauty in it. Thank you. I love that gift. I love it. I love it because I'm a live star. Thank you for getting the likes up. We got the likes up to over 13,000, at least on mine. That's what it's showing. Sometimes I click off and it's far more. And there are really big, beautiful avenues that I'm just excited about. And I'm going to continue to show up because I am just hope. I found this shirt. First, I found this shirt and I found the matching sweatshirt with pleasure, Maureen 44. And thank you for you. You come on to my lives all the time. You comment on my TikToks. I appreciate you. I went to this pop-up. It was in Soho. This was a collaboration with Raey, Raey, which I love, one of my favorite sweatshirts. It was a cashmere sweatshirts for fantastic. That fills me with joy. It was this cashmere sweatshirt with kangaroo pockets in the front, and I loved it so much. And it was one of the first times I said, I'm going to release something that I love. There's a thing in me that whatever I love, I have to learn to let it go. Because at times, holding on like, this is my favorite pair of jeans, I'll never get rid of them. Nah, I can let things go. I can let things go. Anyway, so pop-up, Soho, New York. I walk in and first I see this sweatshirt and it says hope with maybe a jasmine plant. And I said, oh my gosh, I got to get this sweatshirt. Oh my gosh, there's a matching shirt with my name on it. Anything that says hope, I buy. I buy. My home is full of things that say hope. Anytime I see anything and it says hope, I'm going to buy it. I've yet to see anything on TikTok Shop that says hope because I don't really, well, everything I buy is secondhand except for a few things. But I love things that say my name or hope, faith, charity because these are my sisters. So I randomly found this shirt today and I said, oh, that's right. I'm going to wear this because my name is Hope. Thank you for the follow, Nisha. So I said that to say, do something for yourself. I always say this. And regardless if we are parents or not parents or we feel restrained or money is tight, do something for yourself. If it's getting a little ice cream at Thrifty, I don't even know if that's still a thing. Do something for yourself because you deserve it. We do. I truly believe in rewarding myself daily. I do. I made myself some rolls, like sushi rolls, that I'm very excited about, and I'm going to go eat now. So, be the reflection of love because we all come from an infinite source of love. Show up, make it look good when you show up, and expect better to come. The best is already here. It's getting better. Sink. Surrender, believe, know, go forward. I will see you tomorrow, and there's some really cool things coming. Really cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye.